Sitting here with the amazing Miles and TJ, and we're having a little conversation about the Utopian Network. So let's start off with, what is the worst mixer or event you've ever been to?
The worst one had to be, new business networking event, random stuff, but it really just to turn into like a bulletin board of announcements for an hour straight. Everybody just saying everything that they were going to for the next 2 weeks. Not much networking, just.
Anyone jump out of windows, or was it bad? Was it like
It
fire
was
alarms pulled?
it was bad because we were also standing the whole time. Everybody was standing. Everybody had their 30-second pitch.
And what's the maybe the Utopian event? What would get you out of your house to show up to something?
Food first. Food first. House calls and like house notes. Housekeeping, yeah, housekeeping notes first. That's big, but really food and just casual flow.
And so, like, no activities, no agenda, just cruising?
Activities should also be casual, in my opinion. Things that just get people to congregate if it's not happening naturally. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Okay. And how about yourself, Miles?
Um,
Or TJ?
TJ. Yeah, we the worst experience. There was this networking event online. We came in, and it was this 2 columns of seats, and the expectation was that everyone get a plate of food, sit down, drop their stuff, get up and network. It was not like that at all. We came in, we got the food, sat down, and then they had people start to play music, like a live band up front. And it was like,
Sounds like musical chairs is about to happen or something.
we were like almost ambushed by like this band, and they were playing for like 15, 20 minutes. And then they sat down, and then the host got up to speak for like another 15 to 20 minutes. And we're like, what is going on? No networking was done. I actually left early because I was like, I don't know what's going on here. But by far the worst experience.
Got you. And did you feel like that was the kind of the consensus with the people that were there? Folks were like, what's going on?
Yeah, it was awkward too, because it was like, hey, we already got the food and sat down, so like, who's gonna make the first move to leave? But like, it was everyone was pretty on the same page. Like, this is not what we were expecting.
Mm-hmm. And what's the commonality between like a good party and a good networking event?
Good people. I think the people, whether professionally, it's people that you can connect with whatever you're doing in business, or with a party, people who can have a good time and enjoy themselves. I think the people is the commonality.
Got it. And I think it's a network, right? Just like you throw a net to go catch some fish or something, right? And it's like you're bringing something together. How are you two, because you're business owners, how are you two leveraging network to grow your business?
Yeah, I think first things, we always ask for a referral. We try to give people specific things like, hey, what events are you going to this month? Can I come with? Start there. I prefer like the low-hanging fruit. So if you're going to an event, do you get a +1? Can I be that +1? That's what we do most consistently.
And then do you have like a strategy once you go to events, or are you just yourself?
Nah. We prepare, try to think about who's going to be there, the type of vibes. Have they done this in the past? But I do what works for like my learning style and communication style. I think I'm pretty direct and methodical. So if I get a card, I'll send an email like within when I get back home, even if I schedule it to send to like the next day to follow up or whatever. But that's just my approach.
I love it. And if you guys could add one strategic business mogul into your network, to your active network, that could help you do deals, move your business along, who would be that one individual, and how would you leverage them?
That is a really good question.
Thank you. I have my moments from time to time.
Dang. Okay. Let me.
I actually know my answer.
Okay.
Don Peoples. Are you familiar with Don Peoples?
I'm not. Don Peoples.
Don Peoples is a billionaire, originally from Washington D.C., and he made his fortune through real estate in the early '80s. He's one of the first black billionaires in the country, And I actually got an opportunity to see him speak in Atlanta a few months ago. And he was telling kind of the crowd of his journey, but invests in startups, very active in real estate, and is a big backer for actually a lot of political candidates, help get a lot of people through office. And so if I had the opportunity to connect with him, it would be like, hey, who do you know where I can place an exchange zone down? And also, can I have some capital to fund my business? But yeah, that's one guy I'd connect with.
I know Tim Ferriss' book, The 4-Hour Workweek, he talks about one of the exercises he would do, and I guess he was teaching, was challenging people to reach out to one famous person and just like contact them. And what would stop you from reaching out to Don Peoples? Maybe we could even maybe tag him in this to try to like connect with them or see what kind of value you could bring into his life.
Nothing's stopping us. Definitely tag him if we can find his tag. I've actually
Don, we see you.
I've actually emailed him, and when I was at the event, I approached him, but then his security guard was like, "Hey, he's enjoying his coffee."
He's like pushing all the groupies off the wannabes.
Yep. But nah, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Doesn't hurt to reach out.
Yeah, and it not only doesn't hurt, but it can be like an amazing tool or strategy that a lot of folks just don't. And I heard somebody say that if you want to reach somebody that's maybe like a few pay grades ahead of you, or like way more like hard to reach, that if they're on podcasts, you can actually reach out to the podcast host that had them and ask like how they connected with them, and then learn their strategies. But if you're not doing like content yourself, then a lot of times it's tricky even getting a hold of people that are hosting podcasts, because
Right.
it's like people will connect with other people that are
In this space.
yeah, or maybe have that common interest, right?
Right.
So yeah, how about yourself, Miles?
Yeah, I'm thinking about something a bit more thematic. Our business takes a lot from track and field, like metaphorically and organizationally. And I ran track and field in college. And so I would love to have Allison Felix, Olympic medalist in so many different relay events in the 400 and the 200 as well. Yeah, connecting with her to just be that perfect thematic match with how we want to run our business. That's what I would do.
And so that would be more for mentorship, or for I don't even know who it's. Allison Felix.
Allison Felix.
Allison Felix. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe tell me more about Allison Felix.
Allison Felix is one of the greatest sprinters in American history. Yeah. She's wicked fast. Wicked fast.
And then how would you leverage her to be in your network to like advance your businesses?
Yeah, personally, it's mentorship. She has so many incredible stories about resilience and corporate navigation. But I think most immediate for our business is, having that social proof, having that brand rep to be like, I vouch for what these guys want to do in the community, how they want to leverage technology to make communities more connected and safer. I think there's a narrative element that we would just all align on.
Okay, well that's powerful. Narrative element. Yeah, well I think a lot of these folks are reachable, and it is, I think that question of the tycoon that you could add to your network really makes you think about, well, even if you have just like awesome people in your network that are just great people, it can go a long way, right? Versus maybe being connected with, not like actively pursuing to grow one's network. And so I think that's the power of an event too. Like you can get together with people that are open to expand, and maybe if you can get that theme together, maybe entrepreneurs together or whatnot, then you have people that are kind of on the same trajectory that can open doors for each other, versus making cold calls from your apartment, which I end up doing too much.
It's a part of the equation. It just shouldn't be all of it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys making time to jam. Okay, final question. And I'll be editing some of this out so I can, because obviously this is long and I'm doing a lot more. The question is, what's the strangest job you've ever done?
Strangest?
Yeah, just like an odd thing you did to make money. He's just like, this is weird.
Okay. I rinsed out paint cans.
You rinsed out paint cans?
I rinsed out and I collected, rinsed out, and recycled paint cans. Just summer job, needed cash. There was one of those things, literally old school, flyer on a telephone post. They're like, we need people to recycle paint cans.
What was the oddest thing about it?
The oddest thing about it was I didn't know like the diversity of paint cans out there in the world and the people. I thought it would just be office building stuff, construction projects. It was all sorts of weird places I would go to, just doing oddball stuff. But,
Okay, that's fair.
yeah, that's
What'd you learn from that job?
nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not everything's worth $1. No, just
Get paid per can or per hour?
neither.
No money.
No,
Just for the love of the paint. You were going.
It was not-
You were going hard on the paint, weren't you?
It was tough. It was weird pay structure, but I'm like a teenager. I just needed the cash. That was
Okay.
really it. It was weird.
How were you getting paid if you were getting paid hourly or by the bucket? Or is that on a need-to-know basis?
Like keep it hush hush.
Yo,
Okay, we're moving along.
No, it's weird.
How about
It's
yourself?
A weird story.
How about yourself, TJ?
I was a facilities worker at my high school. I was literally a janitor at like 15, and it was weird because of the work setting. Up until then, I didn't do anything but like sweep porches or like shovel snow. So I had an idea what it's like to work in a real workplace. But when I showed up, they were like, "Hey, go paint these 3 classrooms. Bye. Or go clean these carpets. Bye." And I would work by myself all day. And it was so bizarre to just like paint all day. It is, I've never painted before. They were like, "Hey, this is how you do it. Okay, now go do it." And that's what I did.
So you hadn't done it before. You were like learning how to paint,
I was
and they're
learning
like
how to paint.
unleashing you.
Learning how to paint, learning how to clean carpets, learning how to cut grass, learning
this
how to
money.
weed whack. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. But it was an adjustment.
The paint connection. You guys could start a painting business. I know people that have done it.
I'm over it.
As I was say, I had enough painting for the rest of my life in that job.
Are you guys judging the walls in this room? Where you're like, I don't know, that beige is really working for
Actually,
the.
you can kind of tell by the edges how detailed someone is because of the tape that they put down.
All right.
Maybe I got into it.
Not too
Look at
much.
it. We got a critic here now. So what did you learn from that job?
Oh man, I learned that I definitely can't do that for the rest of my life. So I should figure something else out. But really, I learned how to work well by myself. Like I learned how, hey, I need to do something. I'll figure it out. And it kind of helped me later in life.
Okay, well that's powerful. Strangest job. I've had a ton, but
What's your strangest job?
oh man, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I've done so many. I had like a paper route when I was a kid. I've washed Bigfoots for Pizza Hut. I've worked as overseeing mild intellectually disabled adults in Ireland while they were over facilities, like they were lawn mowing this convalescent home and like doing trimming, and so I'd show up with them and drive them out there, and it was just odd, just because the relationships I think that we had with the people, the staff that worked there, they really looked down on us. And I had like this big janitor kind of maybe like yourself. I had this like uniform that I'd have on. They gave us these belts. I still have these belts. They're amazing. They're the Snickers belts.
I like those.
But they're like elastic ones. I literally after that job I'm like, this is a great belt. And but yeah, it was awkward. There's all these really odd dynamics with the agency where I worked at, with the organization that we were serving, and a lot of these kids that we were helping had like a lot of like, man, they really need a lot of love and support. And I could go into the use cases, but I won't, of some of these kids that are mildly intellectually disabled. It's tough enough just being a kid.
Yeah.
Like to have like things going against you, man, that's like,
Stop.
that's really tricky. So it was very odd. I ended up getting let go because I failed my driving test in Ireland because they had me switch from a automatic car to a stick, and I went to go. I needed to get a driving test to do the stick test, and so I failed it. I wrote a song about it. It was interesting, man. It was that was probably a really unique job. It's a lot of ups and downs.
It sounds like it.
Well, that was a good jam. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Thanks, Gary.
Yeah, good stuff.